If you haven't already, please open up your lightsaber project, the backside or bottom piece of the lightsaber, and we're going to start the cam process for this. The first thing we're going to do is face, drill, and tap all the features in the inside, and then do all of our turning operations. And we actually may end up moving the drilling to the very end, right before we cut it off. But needless to say, we're going to end up drilling and tapping and doing all our profiling. So one thing you do need to check under the setup to make sure that everything is done correctly is spun profile must be selected on. Sometimes things get goofy if it isn't, so make sure spun profile is on and select OK. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit the home button. This is the front end over here, even though it says back on the screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to begin with a facing profile, a facing operation. We're going to select tool number 20. Tool number 30, misspoke, and we're going to select OK. Everything should be good except for that 5,000 needs to be 1,500. Surface feed speed is way too high. That should be 400 also, and select OK. Now we have facing operation done. We're going to turn the profile of this feature and kind of the same stuff we had last time with grooving and all that. We're going to turn those things off. So one thing I am going to do is flip to the top view of this so you can see the bottom of the tool. And I do not want to be cutting into these areas here. It's just really hard on the tool and really hard on the machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to select tool number 30. This has to be 1,500. Next tab, front to back looks good. Back, we might move it back a little bit more, minus 0.0, like 0.03 should be perfect, or 3.5, just to move it back a little bit of a space back here. So it's minus 35 thousandths from 0. We're inside radii. Okay, so this is the part where you need to go to a selection and select at least right here. Okay, it's okay if it cuts in a little bit of this, but we don't. It's just really hard on the machine if we cut in all of it. So right now we have that selected, so we're gonna go ahead and select. I'm not gonna select OK yet. I want the step over on the finishing needs to be small. Should be 0.06 or 0.008. Finish feed rate should be a little slower, 0.004. We don't need a repeat finishing passes. Maximum step over should be 0.06 or 0.07. Roughing overlap of 0.03 should be fine. We're going to select OK and see what happens. Now, only thing I'm not 100% sure of is my stock size. So I'm going to edit, make sure stock is, see, stock diameter is not 2 inches. 1.625 is the actual stock diameter for this. So there is an error right there. Just make sure that says 1.625. And then we're going to Control G here and Control G again. And it should update everything. Looks like it's going to clean everything up in like 1 or 2 passes. This is excellent. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a turning profile in here. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I think it pretty much clears everything up. Most of this in here and here, but I still think a little grooving operation. So the very next operation you're going to end up doing is turning, grooving. And what we're going to do is we're going to select the tool that we need. Under the lightsaber project, it should be tool number 23. It's a very small grooving tool. And we are just going to select rest machining. I'm going to come back over here to make sure, yeah, this maximum spindle speed, I don't know why it's so high. 1,500 is really maybe even 1,600. 1,600 is really the max we really want to see this machine. And it's just gets a lot of bad vibrations in the machine. I don't think there's any other edits we need to do. There is going to be a finish pass step over 0.005 or maybe 0.008, something like that. And the maximum grooving step over should be 0.02. Alright, so let's go ahead and select OK and see how this looks. So it's going to do a whole bunch of like little tiny grooves. This grooving tool is so small. It's going to come in and do a whole bunch of tiny grooves and just clean up the rest of these spots in here. Same with over here. Same with right here at the end. So I think this is going to look really sharp. I think it's going to look really good. And maybe it comes in right here and just touches, cleans his shoulder up. Now that we got that operation done, we're going to go ahead and save it again. So select save, and now it looks like we have all of the external features done. So let's go to simulate, hit play, turn on stock, get an idea of what this looks like. And that looks pretty cool. It looks pretty close to exactly like the old school Luke Skywalker lightsaber. I think it looks awesome, and everything looks really well grooved out. It does the best it can in here, and the best it can in here is just a tiny little top-notch grooving tool that I have. And then after the grooving, we're gonna go ahead and flip this around, and I want to see the backside, or where we're gonna be doing all our drilling and tapping. This is going to be pretty quick and easy. So drilling and tapping is all going to be done right here. Drilling, you should have a point here. If you don't, you're going to need to go back and make a point. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to select a center drilling tool. So lightsaber, center drilling. We're going to select this. The area we're going to be selecting, whole faces, should be selected points. And this is the point you're going to select. And heights. We're not going to do whole bottom. We're going to do an offset of minus 0.3. And you can kind of see what the tool is actually going 0.3 into the part. We're going to select OK. And if I simulate that, I'm holding control by selecting the face and this. And when I play, this other tool is going to come in just a little bit to put a center drill in there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into drilling again. I want to drill another hole. And what you can do is to save time, you can duplicate this, okay, and edit. And the first tool we're going to select is going to be number 26. This is going to be the actual drill. And we're not going to go down 0.3. We're going to go down negative 1. Almost 1.5, 1.375 inches. So we're going down pretty deep into the hole. We're going to select. One thing I want to make sure of is that our spindle speed is at 600. Okay, I think everything else is good. Feed rate looks good. This time we're going to come over here and we're not going to drill wrap it out. We're going to chip break. Full retract, okay? Just so we can really drill down, come out. We're going to take a look at this. So, and we're going to edit this one. And we're going to come over here to cycle. This is number 25, or the first drilling operation. And we're going to call it counter boring with a dwell. And the dwell time should be 0.2 of a second. Select OK. Now if we simulate all these, you should get an idea of what. So you can see this tool is drilling and taking all the chips in and out while it's drilling down into the feature. Alright. Looks good. Save. I'm going to hit Control S for a save. And the last thing we're going to end up doing here is the tapping. So come back to drilling. We're going to select the tap, which is tool number 27. Should say tap right hand. Select OK. Spindle speed's 1,000. No dwell Tapping should already be set, and the bottom of the hole should be negative 0.875. I might go in a little bit deeper. I might go 0.95, negative 0.95, just so we definitely have threads that go almost all the way. Maybe we'll go negative 0.1. Just so negative 1 inch down, just so we have enough material removed there, and we're going to select OK. Faces, there's nothing selected, so that's an issue. So let's go selected points. We're select right there and select OK. That's going to tap down an inch, tap out, and we should be able to screw in this other piece here with the threaded section onto this piece. So just some different operations that we've gone over, just, from tapping, drilling, and all that. And make sure you save your work, and you can begin the process of the machining of this whole feature out in the machine shop. And we'll be ready to, next set of videos we're going to go over is post-process, double checking to make sure our spindle speeds are correct. So we'll right click on editing and making sure we're at 1500 for maximum spindle speed, Control G, and making sure everything's generated. Now our toolpaths are complete, and we're going to begin the cutting operations in post-process soon. Thanks for watching.